morning on the road today. Hey, hey. The sun is blazing on A1. Hey, hey, hey.
Hi, Angel here.
And Vampyresskiss. And today we're going to talk about something a little different than what we usually talk about. We have been having a lot of coyote issues and problems. And we had these traps that worked really well to get the coyote that we needed to get last year. But the problem is that they're walking on them, and because they're so rusted, they weren't snapping shut. So I was looking online to try to find an economical way to get the rust off of them, and I found it said that vinegar worked. Well, what I have here is the first one I've done, and you see the rust up here, how bad it is. This whole trap looked like that before I started.
Yeah, this is a side-by-side.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad down here, and you can see the rust is basically completely off of it where it's soaked in the vinegar.
Yeah.
And where it didn't soak in the vinegar, you can see right there.
Rust isn't there.
Yeah, the line right there was where the vinegar went up to on that side, and you can also see it on that side too. So vinegar does work, and this was soaking for maybe 19 hours, I would say. And actually last night at about 11:30 or so, I had pulled it out of the water, and it was already well on its way to being unrusted. I can push this down and set this trap, so I'm thinking I might leave this top part rusted like this, because it just gives it that much more camouflage when you throw the dirt on top of it.
Yeah, we would just need that part so that they can step on it in the bottom
yeah,
parts.
because this part here, it hardly moved at all, and when they were stepping on it, it wasn't snapping the trap.
They would have had to use all their weight to
No, they would have had to been an elephant, because the ones that we have out there are like stuck. So I'm going to let this one dry, and I'm going to set it and take it out there and bring in another rusty one. But all I did was, this is you can see the rust right there because of the sun shining through the window.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
All the rust.
And this is just vinegar inside like a wash tub that you'd normally use like camping or something. And you can see it did its job. And I mean, this is a gallon of vinegar here. Only costs like $3, about anywhere from $3 to $3.95. You're not going to pay much more than that. Where I was told by, I think it was my stepbrother that used diesel fuel. Well, diesel fuel is so flammable and everything, and it can be dangerous. And I think this is a lot better way. So this is proof that
vinegar works with rust on traps or anything else.
Well, we don't know about anything else, but we do know it took it off these traps, and these are steel traps.
Yeah.
And I may be making a video later on, because I've got some tools that are actually kind of rusty and don't work so well.
And we can see how the vinegar does it with
the tools, because
Yeah.
they'd be made out of a little bit better grade steel too. But
yeah, we got quite a things that are rusty out there.
That's true. But I'm very pleased, very, very pleased, because I thought that I was going to have to replace all my traps. And these traps are not inexpensive. I mean, 4 of them were over $45. I mean, to some people that may not seem like much, but I thought that was a lot of money. So, there we go. Experiment
completed.
Complete and good. So this is Vampyresskiss.
And Angel. Video out.
Okay, we're back. We went out and took the one trap that had been soaking in the vinegar, And I thought instead of bringing just one trap at a time, because we've got 4 of them, that would take 3 days, that we brought in 2 traps to soak for tonight. And you can see the terrible shape they're in and how hard this is to move. That's why the coyotes are not setting off the traps, like we said earlier. Yeah, see, I can barely move that one. Yeah. So we'll soak these, and then I'll show them to you in the morning before we go out and put them out. But we have one more after this that's still out there, but I wanted at least 2 with the chance of catching, 2 of its legs if we get it. So, and here's the vinegar that we use. It's just plain old vinegar from Walmart. It's distilled white vinegar. From what I read online, you can use apple cider vinegar, but of course apple cider vinegar costs a lot more than white vinegar does. And white vinegar is, if you don't use it all to unrust something, it's got a lot of purposes. Like it's antibacterial. It can mix with water. It can clean your fruits and vegetables. And that's 1 part vinegar to 3 parts water on the vegetable cleaning. So there's just a ton of uses for vinegar. You can put it in your dishwasher to get rid of the white calcium buildup, around your sinks. Just all sorts of things. I'll probably do a video on that too, but this is just mostly about the traps and about the vinegar. About the rust. So I'll add to this video tomorrow after these soak overnight. So until then. Okay, we're back, and these traps, I actually had them soaking for longer than 24 hours because, had kind of a crisis today and I totally forgot they were soaking. So these soaked for more like 48 hours. But they did only soak, you can still see the line right there. They only soaked this part. But one thing I did notice, this thing moves very easy now. So maybe they do need to soak for a lot longer. But you can see that there's a definite line there showing where they're no longer rusted. And this one here moves like a dream. That doesn't catch a coyote. It's going to be because the coyote is smarter than me, which is probably not totally untrue. Anyway, so these look pretty darn good. And like I said before, I'm leaving the rust up here rather than putting, I'm not sure if it's grease or if it's some kind of paint or something they put on them to make them look more camouflaged in the sand. Because where we're having to put them is kind of a problem because the wind keeps blowing and uncovering them. So that's why between these and then I did buy, like this is a brand new one. You can see it looks a lot better. 4 more of them. I swear if we don't get that coyote, I'm gonna, actually I think there's more than 1 coyote because I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, we had like 150 chickens and we're down to like 10. So, they're just wiping us out. We have some geese I don't want to lose, and we have some ducks I don't want to lose. So that's why we're stepping up our game. Plus, it's dangerous to be firing a gun where we live because the Native Americans have horses, sometimes periodically cattle out on their land. And I don't want to be firing in that direction and kill something that is not meant to be killed. So that's why I'd rather trap them than do away with them. So anyway, my review is vinegar definitely gets rid of rust, which is a plus because then you don't have to mess with something more carcinogenic. And yeah, I'm anxious to try it on tools. I'll do a video on that. I've got some ratchets that I just need to find them, and I will soak those and see what happens. But I'm very pleased with what has occurred here, and I hope that it helps some of y'all. So remember, one soul. Video out.
So if you go out into the woods today, hey,